Hi, this is Stacy with Lily Bean Crafts by Stacy. Welcome back, and if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to be making a candy cane tumbler, and I wanted to make my own glitter blend. So I'm starting off with Blood Stripe from Peachy Olive Glitters, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some Candy Apple, and then Phoenix, which are both from Rae Creations, which I do have a discount code for. And now I'm going to add a little bit of a Chunky, which is the Netflix and Chill from Peachy Olive Glitters. And here's where I'm going to get the opalescent colors. I'm adding Silk. And I'm going to go ahead and spread this out and just kind of see where it's at. And it just did not have enough of the opal color that I was going for. So I'm adding some Bifrost from Peachy Olive Glitters. And as you can see, I just throw some in. I don't measure it out or anything like that. I just kind of put it in and see how I like it to be, which does make it difficult if I want to make more of it, but regardless. I did wind up adding a little bit more of the Candy Apple and a little bit more of the Phoenix because it went a little bit too opal and I wanted to have more of a brighter red look to it. And this is how my glitter mix turned out. I am going to take a 20-ounce Skinny Tumbler that I got from Makerflow that I did prep and sand, and I spray painted it with Stiletto from Color Shot spray paints, and I let that dry. And I'm going to be going in with my glitter glue here and my little brush that I got from the dollar store. And I'm going to use this method to apply my glitters. So because it's such a small amount, it does take a few minutes to get it all on the tumbler. But I was only planning on using it for this one tumbler, so it worked out. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my time and apply this over the entire tumbler. And like I said, I'm going to have to keep refilling my little container because there just isn't that much of it. And then once I have it completely applied, I'm going to use the parchment paper method, and I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it out since it does have some chunky glitters in it. Once it dries, I'm going to go ahead and take my glitter glue, put another coat on, let that dry for 4 hours, and now I'm going in with my first coat of epoxy. I'm using 20 mLs of my Flynn Sisters Fast Set Epoxy, and I'm going to give this complete coverage. Let this spin for 3 hours, and then I'm going to go in with another 10 mLs of my Fast Set Epoxy and let that dry for the full 4 hours, and then get started on the candy cane striping. Time that I got the epoxying done till I started working on the vinyl piece, I wound up getting the stomach flu, and it completely threw my world upside down last week. So it took me a little bit longer to get this going, and I still wasn't feeling good here. I was kind of knocked out for a couple of days. I did get a template for making the candy cane stripes off of Etsy, and I'll link that in the description. And then I'm taking my piece of transfer tape and I measured it out. I have already cut out the template onto just white permanent vinyl because I'm going to be doing white stripes to make the candy cane look. And here I am taking my time, folding it back, and I'm going to trim this so that I can use the hinge method to apply it to the tumbler. Every intention of making this a really intricate candy cane. I was going to glitter the white vinyl. I was going to do some new techniques that I've never done before. But like I said, I wasn't feeling good and my patience was just not there. And that was still my plan at this point in time. I was going to make this really intricate. So I'm taking the hinge method. I'm going to line this up carefully. And because of this being the kind of template where there's a lot of line work on there, it has to be lined up perfectly. If it's not lined up perfectly, it's not going to work for you because if the lines don't measure up, once you pull it back, it's not going to work. And I just could not get the lines to work. But I was determined to get this going, so I kept moving forward with it. I was going to readjust it as I was going. I did get it. It was kind of lined up, but not great. I know you can't really tell because it's white and you can't see it on here. But I've got the transfer tape on and I'm peeling it back, and this transfer tape does not want to come off. Like, this vinyl had it stuck so hard that it took all of my strength to remove this. And once I get it to the ends, I realized that I didn't peel it back before I laid the template over all of this fine line work with all these little pieces. But I was still determined because generally I have a lot of patience when it comes to this. And I decided to cut that, and I was going to take my time and remove each piece individually, very carefully, so that I can make this totally awesome, super technique candy cane tumbler. And I just didn't have the patience for it today. So this is when the whole design starts to unravel for me. And I hate wasting white vinyl because it's something that I use so much. And I decided to freeze frame for you and show you the point in time where I lost my temper and I just started ripping it off. And I wish that I had this whole thing recorded, but I don't. But I ripped a ton of it off, and then I started peeling it individually to try to get it off and looked at it, and I was like, this is actually really cool. It is like a half candy cane. And the way that the lines just worked out, I know it's not lined up for you to really see as I was doing it, but I was peeling off the template. And now I had a bunch of the lines that were halfway pulled off, so they weren't on there straight. So here I am trying to fix it. Like I said, I'm totally out of frame because I wasn't even planning. I didn't even realize I was recording at this point in time. I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do. But I lined it up, and then I started pulling out, because my garbage can was right next to me. I have all these little pieces of vinyl in the garbage can, so I pulled a couple of them out and I just started playing around with where I can put them and how I could make this work, because this actually looks really cool. And I had no plan here. I was just playing around, and it just worked out for me. And so I decided to just make it a really simple candy cane. And now where I'm going to be putting the SVG, you're really going to be able to see it. I got this SVG off of Etsy. It's from Bear Trends, and it does come with the offset already, so it's really easy to work with. And I went with just the white permanent vinyl for the bottom of the offset, and then for the top, I have this red holographic vinyl that I got from Amazon that I'll link for you. And I'm using my handy dandy little cradle that I got from Camipaige Boutique that I also have a discount code for. So if you need something to make your life a little bit easier when you're working with SVGs, I'll have that linked in the description for you. But I just went ahead and I put this SVG together and put it in this open space. And I mean, it's just like the most simplistic, like, I don't even know how to describe how this tumbler is. I called it a half candy cane, but it's just like minimalistic. It's fantastic. And like I'm sure you're all used to working with dots, once you've cricketed them or use your silhouette, the dots never want to come off. So I'm taking my time because somehow I found my patience again, and I'm taking the time to apply all of the little dots everywhere and getting that all lined up. And yeah, this is the design that I decided to stick with. If you haven't done so yet, come check out my Lily Bean Crafters community Facebook group. Next week, I'm going to be starting my 12 Days of Christmas series, and I'm going to be doing some sneak peeks on there and kind of showing some of where I got the materials from in advance. So yeah, come check that out. And I decided to put one more little line on here so it makes it look like I planned this from the beginning. I'll take it. Then to finish it up, I'm going to go in with 10 mLs of my fast set epoxy, let that spin for 4 hours, and then I'm going to sand it down really good, but be careful because of the red holographics, and then put 10 mLs of my Flynn Sisters medium viscosity Artist Cure, let that spin for 8 to 10 hours, and it will be all ready, and it will look like this. This minimalistic, beautiful candy cane turned out so beautiful. It was never the plan, but I'll take it. And I love how this turned out. If you liked this tutorial, please hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see everybody again next week for the 12 Days of Christmas. Bye-bye.